Yeah, there's a yacht there just on the horizon. Well, he's a bit closer now. And I was going to call him on the radio to see if he's got any news of weather ahead. But he's got a French flag on, so he probably won't speak English. And the French, not being racist or anything, but the French tend not to use their radios. They tend to have them turned off. I am about 15 miles short of the end of the Bay of Biscay, which is brilliant, which is awesome. I woke up this morning, I had troubles getting the mainsail up, so I was in a bit of bad temper about that. Got the thing up, and then realized that actually it was going to be a great day because the weather's been fantastic. I've got the mainsail up, but I'm under power because I'm heading straight up. I was going to go into the area near Brest, one of the French ports at the top of Bay of Biscay. My cousin's actually up there at the moment. But I ended up so far out that it was a long way to get in there. And when I worked out the difference between going in and going straight up, it made sense just to carry on. Because also the weather appears to be great. I have no information now. This is my 5th day at sea, so I don't have any current information on the weather. However, it looks pretty good. So I'm just going to go for it. It means I'm going to have a sleepless night tonight because I'm going around the top of France, Ushant and all that area, which can be very busy. There are currents up there, but I'm actually going on the outside, the seaward side, which I'm hoping are not too bad. It's clear of the reefs and the rocks and everything, so I can get around without too much trouble, I hope. But I got to stay awake. It could be a busy sea lane up there. Then we're into the English Channel. So I shall have to stay away for that. It's another 125 miles across the channel to Britain. So it's looking good. I'm enjoying the day. I'm doing a few little tidy up jobs. I had a shower. I didn't have the camera on for that. It would have been a horrible sight for you. But yeah, I managed to sort of get down in the cockpit here and strip off and do the old wash. I got the engine running, so I managed to get some hot water from, I have a hot water system here that runs off the engine. So that was good, because it's still a bit chilly in the wind. I'm having trouble keeping a course directly north, because there's a bit of swell, but just enjoying not being thrown around the boat. I kid you not, the last 2 days, the violence of it, just being thrown around the boat, constantly being hit on the side with some of those big waves and the swell and stuff. And I was lying in the bunk last night trying to get, doing a 15 minutes, then up on deck 15 minutes, just because I had to keep a watch, obviously. And it was violent stuff. And that, I think, has been what's been wearing me out. So I'm hoping for a much smoother ride, but it's going to be difficult. But fun. We're nearly getting there. It's great. Yeah. So all good on board. But it's still the morning. Anything can happen between now and the end of the day. So we'll see what happens. Stay tuned. It's very windy outside, and there's a little bird, and he's just trying to get out of the wind. Look, poor little fella. Hiya. And he's sheltering. I don't want him in the boat really, because he'll panic. But he's just trying to get out of the wind. I just come up and he's just flown off. I feel sorry. Oh, there he goes. Look, he doesn't know where to land because he's frightened of me. And the back of the boat is the only sheltered part. I was hoping he'd find a place underneath the dinghy at the front. There he goes. And he's sitting next to. Earlier on, he was sitting where Charlie used to sit, right at the back. There he is. There. It's another beautiful sunset. Well, we are. We passed Biscay. We're opposite France, and I've decided not to go to France. We are trying to come up by Ushant and all the windy places with all the current, and I'm trying to figure out the currents. I think current's holding us at the moment. We're sailing slightly in the wrong direction. We should be going up that way towards the UK. But having to go out this way a bit because there's current against us, and I had to stop the engine. Yeah, I had to stop the engine because it was It had been running all day. This is the very, very top of Biscay, and of course Biscay comes all the way down 350 miles, and this was the very top. And we got to this point, and that was the end of Biscay, and of course this is all France here. I was going to go in, but I was over here at the point where we came to the end of Biscay. I'm just moving about a bit because the boat's rocking about. Yeah, there's some reefs and things here, so I kept well out. And then I was wanting to come up at the top up here, and then off to the UK. On the outside, normally yachts would come through on the inside here if they were coming into some of the marinas down here. But there's a lot of current, there's a lot of reefs. So my plan is to come out here. The main shipping lane is here. So we're kind of wedged in at the moment. The main shipping lane, current's coming through here and land on this side. And we're just around about here at the moment. We're just about here. And I'm sailing a bit too far that way. Then I'm going to tack up through here. About 6 o'clock in the morning I should be here. As soon as I'm here, I go a bit further, cross the shipping lanes, then I'm free of all this land. Yeah, also I had to stop the engine. A lot of blue smoke coming out of it. It's an old Perkins that's been rebuilt by the previous owner. And I need some expert advice when I get back, but she's blowing a lot of blue smoke out the back and burning oil, so that's a sign of wear and tear. Also, I'm down to less than half a tank of diesel. It's difficult to tell when you're on a boat because of course the needle's swinging about a bit because the boats are moving, obviously. So I'm not sure how much diesel I've got. I've got less than half a tank, so I've still got a lot to go, and I want to keep a lot in reserve in case I need it, in case there's a problem. If I get becalmed in the middle of the channel, I want to get out of the situation. I've got 100, and as soon as I get up to the top here, I've got that's another 40 miles, which I'll get to at 6 o'clock in the morning, and then I'm out across the channel 125 miles to Falmouth and then Plymouth. So unless something else is to report, I will see you hopefully in the morning or in the early hours, and maybe my voice will have come back. But it's so nice. I've spent the day today just chillaxing, unfortunately with the engine on. Just so nice not to be thrown about all over the place. I haven't got any bruises or any cuts or anything like that I've sustained today. It's been a nice day, and I just feel so much better after the last few days of storms and stuff. Completely different today. I actually enjoyed it today, so yeah, we'll see what tomorrow brings. Good morning. It is now the morning of day, and I can't remember. I'm so tired. I think it's day 6, is it? I've lost track of time. I'll no doubt correct myself later. Yeah, so we're anyway, more nightmares. Here we go. Here's the story. I've spent, this is the top of Biscay again. I've spent, from when I got up to here, I've spent the last 12 hours overnight without sleep, battling my way up here. Britain, of course, is over that way. This is the top of France, and this is the traffic zone here. I'm now parked up about here. The winds are horrendous coming down here. I'm already too far west. I need to go that way, and I can't go that way. There's a couple of little places here. I can't get that far. There's Roscoff, which is a ferry port over here. I can't get up anywhere up there. There is a small anchorage here, but I don't know. So there's a marina that is quite accessible down here. 45 miles I've got to go back. I can barely stand in here. It's unbelievable. Bear in mind, this is June. We're in June now. It is just, I can't, you know, there are no words. It's just mad. It's just completely mad. It's a howling gale out here. Well, it's not a full gale, but I don't know what the wind speed is. But it's blowing so much that I can't sail in it. And this is a heavy weather, all weather boat, pretty much. You know, I mean, let's go outside and let's have a look here. The sea is reasonably flat, to be honest with you. It looks beautiful. you know, the sea's reasonably flat, but it is blowing and it's coming down here. France is just here, it's coming out. I need to be that way to England. It's dead on my nose. I can't go that way. If I go that way, it takes me out west, too far into the Atlantic. I need to go dead into that wind, and I can't do it. You can't sail straight into the wind. It's impossible. So I'm gonna have to turn around, go downwind, find myself some shelter. I haven't slept properly now for about 6 days or something. I've been catnapping a little bit, but last night I couldn't because we're in a shipping zone. You have to keep watch all the time, so I've been awake all night. So I'm so tired. So I might just hold the boat here and get a little bit of rest and try and get back. But this is really disappointing. I mean, I gotta say, I'm trying not to be angry about it because it's not going to do anybody any good at all. And it's just one of those things. It's sailing, but it's just, you know, at this time of year, June, it's bitterly cold. You can see by the way I'm dressed. This is ridiculous. It's insane. So there's absolutely nothing I can do. It's crazy. I'm in a seaway, and there's only one way I've got to go, and the wind is coming straight down on me. And it's not just a bit of wind; it's a lot of wind. I can't even zigzag, tag up. It's too windy. I've had to take the foresail down for fear it was ripping. It was going nuts. I had it all reefed down overnight. Luckily, I did. When it started getting bad towards the evening, I reefed everything down, so I didn't have full sail up, which is good. I'm going to leave the mainsail up and see what happens and turn the boat now. Right, I'll give you an update when I know what's happening. I just want to sleep. Oh. Yeah, so where were we? Yes, a few hours ago. Couldn't get to Britain. The wind was right on the nose. We had land on one side, shipping lanes the other. It was all horrendous and horrible. I made a decision to turn around after 12 hours through the night, getting to that location, to scrub all that, go back down and find a safe haven to stop. And I turned the boat round and I found a place we could go, and it was close to 50 miles. And I broke my heart to go 50 miles back the way we'd come up in the last 12 hours, battling against the tide and the wind. And I didn't know what to do, and then I felt something change. I didn't know what it was, and I went on deck. I thought, let's turn the boat back around again. I turned it around, and there was just that margin there with the wind. I could just, a sailing margin, the wind was in just such an angle that I could now sail the boat. So I thought, right, we'll give it a go. It was still rough, and I thought, well, hell with it, let's just do it. So we'll try it for a couple of hours. And it was fine. The weather came down, and as you can see now, we're becalmed. I've got the engine on and one sail up, and it's been like this for hours. I've just had some food, very nice. We're actually in the English Channel, so long story short, yeah. Took ages to get away. There was tides and currents. Ocean is bad for that. There's the separation zone for the ships, how they get through that. So it took me hours to get just a few miles. So I'm finally out of the French area now, past the shipping lanes, and I'm in the English Channel proper. And I'm trying to steer the boat. Although we had good luck eventually getting the course and getting on our way, if a bit late, the day has not been without its costs. We've got a few bits of damage, and one of them is to do with steering. Right, I'll tell you. It's all to do with navigation. We've got a thing first of all on the boat called a flux gate compass, which is up the mast. It's like an electronic compass, and it gives me a compass reading. Unfortunately, it's not working right, and it keeps giving me the wrong readings. And the other thing which I mentioned the other day was my compass, the liquid inside it, for some reason, has turned a sort of yellow. When you turn the light on, it goes red, and it's got so dark, I can't see the numbers anymore, so I can't steer using that. So I can't use that, and I can't use my flux gate compass, which is connected to my plotter, for accurate courses. So instead I have a toy, get that, a toy compass, which I've had for years in my kit. And it was in my wash bag. I'm like, oh, I know what that is. And I'm steering with that at the moment, so that's what's going to get us back to Britain. The wind is just coming up, but this is the English Channel as I've never seen it before. And I've been through here a few times. It is silky smooth and flat and not a breath of wind. Although that was the case, it's just beginning to come up a little bit now. Wind would be handy because I'm having to hand steer all the time, because the only automatic steering I have is my good friend the Hydrovane up here, but he doesn't work too well or at all when there's no wind. And as you can hear, it's just coming up a bit now, so I'm having to hand steer all day with my toy compass, which is in there giving me the route. One of the other casualties of the recent storms, the wind speed indicator. It looks like some spoons on a wheel that spins round to give you your wind speed. The thing never really worked, but at least it was on the mast, and now it's mysteriously disappeared. It's flown off in the wind. The other casualty of the storms we've been through is a taller sail. It's down at the bottom here on the seam, as you can see, and it goes to the end. And I put a lot of strops on there to try and hold it from ripping further. So I've got to be careful not to stress it, and the thing's fracking around all over the place in the light winds at the moment, which doesn't help. Yeah, so when I get back to Plymouth, I'm going to get someone to fix that for me, and I'm also going to put an extra reefing point in, so I can make the sail even smaller in high winds. Well, what did we say it was? I think it was day 6. So that's about it for day 6. Was it day 6? I think it was. We'll see tomorrow, hopefully. The idea was to get to Plymouth, or at least to the mainland, the coast, by 8 o'clock in the morning, but I don't think that's going to be likely. Because of no winds, we lost hours and messing around with the big winds this morning and going in the wrong direction for a while. That's lost us even more hours, so I have no idea. I've been out of touch with family and friends for 6 days now, and they expected me to be only out of touch for 5 days because there's no telephones. I haven't seen land. We've been around France, and unfortunately, because we're not going to France, we're not going to have any videos of France in this series, at least. But yeah, so I haven't been in touch with anybody. I have no telephone signal. And the radio on board is VHF, it's line of sight, it's only a short distance, so nobody knows where I am except you. Right, I'm off. I'm going to get some sails up and we'll see if we get a bit of sailing in and hunker down for the night and wrap up because it's getting chilly, because we are in the northern hemisphere now and near Britain, and it's only June and it's freezing. All right, see you later. And it's day 7. Wow, take a look at this. It's sunset and it's Plymouth. I can't quite make out the entrance yet, but that's basically it right ahead. The sun's coming from the back and there's a bit of sort of sea mist and haze there, but that's basically where I'm going. Called a friend of mine who's coxswain of the Plymouth lifeboat, and he's organised through somebody else a berth for me for the night. I think it's a bit of a tight squeeze, so I hope I can get in there without scraping anything. Yeah, apparently there's been a few people worried because I said I would be out for 5 days, 4.5, 5 days, and it's been 7 now. It's the evening of the 7th day, and as you know from the previous video and others, that there's no communication. I don't have a sat phone, just a normal phone. I've only literally got a signal just now. I've had a pretty, well, as is customary on this trip, I've had nothing but awful weather. This is bumpy seas. It was a great sail earlier on, I gotta say. A lot of wind picked up after last night, as you remember, out in the English Channel. There was no wind at all. I motored all night long and managed to make only 15 miles, I think, 15 miles overnight, which didn't leave me enough time to do the whole thing here without rushing it a little bit. So I've had the engine on all day, and I've been going on to go since 6 o'clock, and it's now, I think it's about 6 o'clock at night. And I've not been able to stand properly on the boat. It's just bouncing, pretty awful again. So it's sort of ending as it started, really. But no, I'm not complaining. Everything's okay as far as I know. Everything's working on the boat. Yeah, I've got a couple more bruises and my voice is almost gone. So, yes, here we come into Plymouth. Great, it's the end of a 2-month adventure that should have lasted about 3 weeks. A sporting end to my adventure sailing solo from the Algarve 1,000 miles to Plymouth. Done. With the last 500 miles non-stop from Spain to Plymouth. Done. And there she is, my beautiful, beautiful shadow, white shadow, in Plymouth, just down from where I used to live. I had forgotten just how big Plymouth Sound is and this part of the world. It seemed to take me forever once I left the coast of northern France to get up here and then come along. I came in by Falmouth in that area and then started heading east to here. It took me forever. It was over, I think it was midnight when I eventually got in here. And the lights, I've only been away a few months and I couldn't recognize anything. So all the lights at night in the Sound. But here we are, the boat's safely in the marina. I think I can stay for a couple of days and I'm going to find somewhere to put the boat. I need a wash. It's been a long few days. Well, I was at sea for 7 days altogether, but the whole venture has lasted 7 months. So I'm going to go to the pub tonight. Yeah.